This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we are going to be talking about my top 10 Grail games of all time. I'm going to actually put my glasses on for this one. So, we're just going to go right into it. At number 10 is a game that I absolutely love, and it is Sid Meier's Civilization, the very first edition. I think it was, I forgot who it was. I think it was Eagle Griffin that did it. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. But the thing I love about this, the map takes up like the whole table, and it is just one of those epic long games, and it plays very well. It is the Twilight Imperium of Civilization, and I know they've come out with different versions of it. As a matter of fact, there's like a like $500 version that you could play with like 16 people, but this one here is just special. The very first edition. I love the miniatures on it. I painted everything on it, and it just plays very well. I haven't played it, but I refuse to get it. It's impossible to find and usually pretty expensive. But one of my favorite games that I really enjoy playing. At number 9 is Epic 40K, or Space Marine as it was known at one time too. Now they just came out with this for Horus Heresy, and it just didn't have the same feel. Not without the Eldar, not without the Orcs, not without the Gene Stealers, and all those guys running amok the galaxy. And plus they used to do like just these, the old school stuff, which is just, it really sticks with you because it had that old feel of an old Games Workshop feel. I have all this. It's packed away. It's one of those things that's really expensive to get your hands on, and it ain't going nowhere in my collection. It is sticking around, and I mean Gargants. Having a whole field full of Gargants. We used to just play this on I think it was a 12-foot table, and we would have it just covered. The old days. Work on it all week, play all weekend. The old days. At number 8 is a Milton Bradley game of all things, right? No, it's not Monopoly. It's Midway. This back in the day, this I believe was around the Heritage Collection that they had come out with, and Midway I just loved. The aircraft carriers, having the little planes on there, different numbered, so when you ran into each other, you would, you didn't know what if you were running into a 4 or a 1, and then dumping your torpedoes, trying to hit the aircraft carriers, and of course you're trying to avoid the torpedoes, and just a game that you could play with 2 to 4 players and just lose an afternoon. I know we did. At number 7, one of the all-time classics. I have this, and I love it, from Task Force Games. It is Starfleet Battles. I'm looking at Volume 2 up there. If you're a fan of Star Trek, it is a fantastic experience to play as the Enterprise or one of the ships from Star Trek, or even being the Klingons. And even if you are not a fan, it is such a strategic and brilliant game. Little rules heavy at times, but it's just one that has always been a mainstay between me and my friends that we absolutely love and hold very dear. At number 6 is Morheim. Morheim is one of my all-time favorites. When they made Age of Sigmar, and they made it a skirmish game, the original skirmish game, Morheim. Oh God, what and to this day, Rat Clan versus Rat Clan that we still play. Looking for warp stones so we can warp our and level up our gangs to just cause more bedlam and problems. And it was always a shame when we lost somebody. But hey, we just buy somebody back and keep on going and rebuild your gang. One of the best games, played in a busted up city, and just a lot of fun. And you can download the rules now, and I highly suggest it, especially with them coming out with all new rats. You can supplement it and have a really good time with this. At number 5, Dungeon Quest, the first edition, the one from GW. I love this. I love this. It is a game that I've had that's been passed around. I still play the 3rd edition, the newer edition, and I have my 1st edition locked away. The old metal miniatures, the old board, and all that stuff is just... it's just special with the old tiles. It's one of those games that's impossible at times. It depends on your level of greed. Are you willing to go down there and try to just get what you can and get out? And, you know, we used to keep a list of who pulled out the most money and try to beat it. And you died 99% of the time. You know, you're there, and as the sun starts phasing, and once sundown hits, here comes that dragon blasting everything with you included. Number 4, a revised edition just came out, and for me, it's just a game that means so much, and I consider it a Grail game. I have the latest revised edition, and I might as well just show you this one so I don't have to put a picture up. And it is Fortune of Glory, the revised edition, but I still have the old edition that I'll never get rid of. This is just one of those special games that just means so much to me. The Hill, Jason Hill, Scott Hill, you know, Jack, you know, it's just, they just come up with games that are just phenomenal. And this one here, that old 40s pulp Indiana Jones feel, it's just a home run, and I love it. And it's it just means so much to me. So when they came out with the revised edition, you knew damn well I was going to do a video on it, which you may see before this or after this. So I hope you enjoy it, and you get to hear how passionate I am about that game. At number 3, we've talked about this game a million times on this channel. Warhammer Quest 95, one of my all-time favorites. I've got 2 copies of it. There are people that still put out scenarios for it. A game that means so much to me, and probably what I consider one of the greatest dungeon crawls of all time. I just wish they put out another version, I really do, of the old 95 and just reprint it out. If they could do Old World, why can't they do, you know, Warhammer Quest? It's not that hard, folks. At number 2, Richard Launius and his brilliantness. Arkham Horror, the 2nd edition. I want to make sure the 2nd edition. I have a copy that I actually play with. And I love that game. I consider it one of the greatest Cthulhu games of all time. And then I have an edition that is with all the expansions, and I'm looking at some of them, that are still in the wrapper, and I'm told they're worth quite a bit of money. Hey, good for me, but they're never leaving this collection, because this is just, I think, one of the greatest, like I said before, the greatest Cthulhu games that has ever been produced, and I love this game more than life itself. That's for doggone sure. It is at number 2. But there can only be one, and my Grail game is a game that they've had 4 or 5 editions of, I forget, and they never change a thing in it. Never. And I scratch my head each time because they're throwing money away. And that's Games Workshop, once again, throwing away money with Space Hulk. Space Hulk, for me, is the Grail game of Grail games. I've had the 1st edition, the very 1st edition, all the way to the latest edition that they had put out. I wish they would do the expansions for it. It's kind of, I have downloaded and I have so many different missions for it, and the game just never gets old. It is one of the greatest sci-fi dungeon crawls ever made. I love this game. I wish they redo it for those of you that have never got a chance to experience how great this is. Their latest edition that they had put out, I thought was phenomenal and just breathed, life into this, but they never came out with any expansions. I can never understand why. But it is just a beautiful piece of art, very thematic, and my goodness, is it hard to survive. Gene stealers are nasty. Plain and simple, just nasty, nasty, nasty creatures. Good luck surviving that one. So there you have it, my top 10 Grail games of all time. I hope you enjoy the list. I would love to hear what your Grail games are. And as always, until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.